So
That's good.
welcome, Vince, to Metalatum Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about photo. Let me pronounce good the name.
Yeah.
Phobophilic. Phobophilic.
Yeah. Got it.
So this new album, this first album, enveloped in absurdity and more things related to the metal world. Starting with a great question: how have you been during these? I think the crazy times. I think we are ending a pandemic. We start now a war in Europe. And who knows what happened next couple of years? Alien invasion, zombie apocalypse. Well, it's very crazy world.
Right. Yeah. At this point, nothing would surprise me. It all just feels just so normal for just these extreme tragedies to just keep happening. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I've been all right as you can be in these weird times, and I mean, silver lining, it's given us a lot of time to kind of hone our crafts and like work on stuff, do whatever positive things you have in your life, you know?
Yeah. Bueno, Phobophilic is a new band now into the death metal world. So can you introduce the band completely, the members, the history, and how do you came with the idea to form a band like Phobophilic?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, we kind of started like 2016, 17, but we haven't like pushed it too hard until lately. We've been kind of trying to figure out the sound, what we wanted to do. Okay, so I'll start with the members. So Josh plays guitar, like writes all the music. Christian plays bass, and Aaron also plays guitar and does vocals. And Aaron and I like share the lyric responsibilities in the band. And so yeah, most of us, like Josh, Christian, and I have been playing in bands together for like 11, 12 years now. So yeah, Fargo, there's like a pretty decent like little scene. It's really like all we had growing up was just going to like punk and metal gigs and whatever. So yeah.
Okay. I saw that your first official release or your first record was in 2017. So with your first demo, your second demo is in 2019, and then you decide to release your first, I think your EP 2019,
Yeah.
Undimensional Identities. So how the things change from 2019 to this enveloped in absurdity?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of just been pushing the boundaries on like both sides of extreme music. So we wanted it to be like heavier, but also we wanted there to be just like more how to put it, more light moments, like more contrast to kind of trying to build on like what we had been working on with Undimensioned Identities and really push those themes and just write more extreme music and write something that we wanted to listen to, you know?
Okay. So I think you receive this question a lot because you're a new band. Phobophilic is a new band with this new album. So what are the biggest difference that Phobophilic has compared to a lot of craziness stuff around the world? As you can see, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, there is a lot of new bands playing death metal, black metal, extreme metal, etc. And why Phobophilic for you is more important than a lot of stuff now?
I guess we're just trying to, I wouldn't say we're really like reinventing anything, but we are trying to just kind of like bring things into metal that come outside of metal. Like we all listen to a lot of stuff that isn't just like metal music, you know? Like when I listen to metal music, it's mostly like I want to see what other people are doing, and like but it's not something that I would just like throw on in the car when I want to like go for a nice drive, you know? So like I try and pull a lot of stuff from, I listen to like a lot of jazz music and more like kind of fusion stuff or more like melodic, soft music. And I really love when, like for instance, I'm the drummer in the band, so I really love listening to music where the drums have like a lot of finesse and you can tell that they feel what they're playing, and it doesn't feel like robotic and like super rehearsed. It feels like organic and meaningful. And I'm not sure if I quite put that through when I'm playing, but I'm trying to. I'd like to feel more fluid when I'm drumming.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So one aspect that I did note, I think during these 5 or 10 years, is that the death metal from US especially are very, very leaned down with the sound from Finland, especially from the, I hear a lot of bands like your t-shirt, Mortiferum, has a lot of influence from Finland
Yeah,
scene, Fetid, Cerebral Rot, this kind of stuff.
for
And
sure.
why now the US scene death metal has a lot of influence from Finland and not from your part of not from your US death metal like Malevolent Creation, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, because that's the sound from US from the 90s and the 80s
Right.
at the end of the day with Death, Morbid Angel, Autopsy, this kind of stuff. But now as so
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it's apparent, but yeah, we also really love Finnish death metal, and I think that a lot of the time they really capture something with kind of like what I was talking about earlier with the balance of extremes, where there's like lots of melody, but there's also like it's very like powerful and invigorating. Like I really love when I can listen to a metal album and it really like the melodies catch me, and it's really like it's almost like something you could like sing along to, like the guitar, but it's they're still just like I mean, yeah, everybody talks about like Demolic, like fucking incredible band. The way that the drums, like the way that he plays drums is like not what, if I heard those riffs, it's not what I would do, you know? It's just very inspiring because I feel like they are doing something very different. And yeah, as far as like a lot of American death metal goes, yeah, a lot of it's kind of like thrash based, and honestly, I'm not like the biggest thrash guy. I think it's cool, but it's not what I want to put on like when I want to listen to something. I definitely like more of the bands like pushing boundaries, like Cynic and Death. Like there's definitely thrash elements to it, but they're like honing in on something a bit different.
yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right. That's so. Well, perhaps could we say that this enveloping absurdity was composed and written during this pandemic, or was it before? Because your last production was in 2019, and then you released an split horrific manifestation, and perhaps then you decide to write the writing process for this new album, enveloping absurdity.
Yeah, so we did start it a little bit before the pandemic, I want to say. Like I think we had a song or two like pretty fleshed out, but the bulk of it was like yeah, like Josh would write a like a riff, like write a song and send it to me, and then you could probably see like in the back I have like this electric kit. I would just kind of like put some drums on it, send it back, and be like, what do you think of this? And then we'd kind of tweak it, go back and forth. So that helped a lot to be able to write remote. So yeah, a lot of the songs that was kind of the first time we'd done that too. Otherwise we had like, we'd get together and like flesh out a song in the room. But yeah, most of it was written during the pandemic.
Okay. Other aspect that I saw and I saw into your lyrics is that you talk about the love, H.P. Lovecraft, in some parts talking about the horror too. So, do you think this aspect to speak about these stories and myths that the Lovecraft did in the past with their books is like a trend now into the death metal, or perhaps perhaps we, if we talk about the death metal now, we can speak, sorry, about other kind of matters and not just the Lovecraftian aspects or horror or death or gory aspects.
Yeah, so I would say definitely like the first like few releases we had are very Lovecraft inspired, very like cosmic horror, like just stuff outside of our realm, recognizing how small we are. But yeah, I've read a lot of his work and I really like stuff like that. But with that, there's kind of we just kind of were like, you know, and me especially, like I really love like philosophy and especially like existentialism and like absurdism, and I really wanted to get away from the Lovecraft stuff. I really wanted to write lyrics more based in reality, and because the human experience can be just as terrible as anything you could cook up, you know. Like we're
Yeah.
seeing it now,
Yeah.
just how the total indifference the universe has towards humanity. Yeah, it's so I wanted to write something that felt more real and felt more like my true thoughts and feelings. And I feel like I did that with this record. I wrote all the lyrics and it's very much like my personal thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now talking about what, and as I said in the first question, we will talk about other matters. So what is your opinion about the last words from Chris Barnes about the last bands of death metal are crap and nor as good for the first times? Like, but perhaps you see you
Sure.
see the news about
I've seen it.
he's crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah,
And what do you think
I
about his opinion? Because I think he's one of the he founded one of the very growls, deeper growls in the 90s with the first three albums with Cannibal Corpse. But now I
right.
think he's crazy. Just the only thing that
Yeah, and I mean like I absolutely have respect for what he did back in the day. But I feel like now he's a bit out of touch, and maybe he really, I don't know why he would say that. Because I feel like now more than ever there's such a resurgence, and like yeah, sure, there's lots of bands that like they're really not doing anything new, but like at the same time there are so many like cutting edge bands doing such cool shit, and it's like really inspiring and super exciting, and I think it's a really cool time to be like involved in the metal scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, well, talking about other matters, I said, well, for me, one of the huge achievement that Phobophilic has is that you are with Breaking the Law promote manager, one of the biggest now in US, and now you are releasing your first album with Prosthetic Records. So two achievements for a new band. So how do you see these great achievements for Phobophilic?
Yeah, it's been really exciting, honestly, and like working with all those people so far has been so cool, really inspiring, and they just like have been super helpful because we've been doing bands for a long time, but we haven't known what we're doing, you know. We're just like having fun,
Yeah.
being kids, writing songs, like, so now we're kind of trying to like pick up the pace and like really, like I would love to not have a job and get to just like drum and write songs and stuff, you know, because that's what I want to do. But hopefully someday we could achieve that. Kind of the dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
as I relating with the question whether that Chris Barnes said, I think I spoke with a lot of bands doing string metal from the past, especially from the 90s and 80s, and all the time they told me that they don't hear new music, so they need new bands, new albums. They just stick from the past with old bands. So what is your recommendations for these old people? And I think, I don't know why, old people thinks that the best metal was did in the 80s and 90s, especially talking about the death metal. And now it's just
Sure.
like the new waves, but nothing original into there.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like there's absolutely lots of classic albums that are, as long as they've been around, like they still are like very worthwhile and essential to listen to. But I mean, the stuff the stuff about the thing about like newer albums is you have to look for them, like especially underground music. Like, yeah, you probably just haven't heard of it, you know? You won't just come across it. You kind of have to like dig for it. And I think like a great resource for that is like Bandcamp does a great job of, you can like search through genres and like specify like what you're looking for, and they do a good job of like supporting artists too. But yeah, definitely lots of metal bands really like doing unique stuff these days.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So I want to ask one question. What did you decide to put phobophilic? And why is the tendencies of the bands around the world in all the styles, not just death metal, in all the styles that the name of the band is named to be with one word? And why not two words? Perhaps in the
Mm.
beginning of a phobophilic, you think like different names with two words, but now you decide for phobophilic, just one word.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of wanted it to be, I mean, it's kind of like, it's funny. There's lots of like, people get it wrong a lot, which I don't mind. I think it's really funny. And like, they'll call us like probiotic or like just other kind of similar words. We definitely weren't trying to pick something hard to say, but yeah, I guess the meaning of it is kind of like the love of fear. If you take like the root words, that's what it ends up meaning. And it's also kind of derived from, there's a song Phobophile by Cryptopsy that we were just like, oh, that's a cool word. I feel like that would just fit what we're doing, especially since like I'm probably like, I like reading horror, but the rest of the band is really in touch with like old horror movies, and they have like an ear to the ground to just like underground horror movie stuff. I don't know a lot about it, but whenever we watch movies together, I'm always like, damn, this is crazy. So just kind of fits, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, we are very close to end this interview, Vince. And what are the future plans that the band has for this first album? Perhaps a North American tour, perhaps a video upcomings, or who knows? And in the near future, European or Latin American tour. Who knows?
And honestly, to all that, yeah, we would love to. Like, so far we've kind of got our sight set on like touring as much as we can when the album is out. We'd love to do like a full US. We're kind of just waiting to hear back about some tentative stuff, but yeah, like I saw like Haunter and Suffering Hour just went to Europe, and it looked fucking dope. Those bands are incredible. Also a great example of new bands really like pushing boundaries and making something special would be like those bands. Um, Very inspiring. Would love to get out and do what they're doing, you know?
Okay,
And yeah,
okay.
Latin America too. Hell yeah. Anywhere.
Okay, that's great to hear. So,
Yeah.
thanks. Well, Vince, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one as I did, and really, really thank you for your time. This
Oh,
first
of course.
album is amazing. I hear
Oh, thank
completely.
you.
I really love it. I did my pre-order from Prosthetic Records, so
Oh, cool.
I hope I arrive soon. Perhaps do you want to add something to your Latin American tour fans, sorry, and Metalerium followers?
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah. Just thank you for listening and for any support. And like we'll try to come out and just show up in your city and party. Like just talk to us, hit us up. We always respond to like Instagram messages and whatnot. And we love just like talking to people about music or whatever, really. Yeah. This life is crazy. All we have is each other. So enjoy each other. Yeah.